What really happened to Jungkook? Why did his body suddenly tremble in front of Jimin? The camera captures moments never seen before. A new fact revealed from one of the BTS staff shook the hearts of the army. Is this the end of Jungkook's legendary stamina? Or was there something darker hidden all this time? What really happened to Jungkook? New facts revealed from BTS staff. Jungkook fainted in front of Jimin. The camera captured an unprecedented moment. What happened? Are you really ready to know this shocking truth? Are you able to see the other side of Jungkook that has never been shown so far? Because if you are a true army, be prepared, because this story is unlike anything you've heard before. Something much deeper, more emotional, and perhaps more painful has happened behind the glare of the lights and the smiles of the cameras. It all started on a normal day. The members of BTS are preparing to do an exclusive shoot that is said to be HYB's big project ahead of their debut anniversary. Filming locations were kept secret, and only a small number of staff were allowed in the room. But one camera, a camera accidentally turned on by a junior crew member, captured the moment that changed everything. The moment began when Jungkook, with a smile that never failed to calm the atmosphere, seemed to step slowly towards Jimin. There was no audible dialogue, only a meaningful gaze, and a body that looked a little shaky. Jimin, who was then standing with his back to the camera, suddenly twisted his body, just as Jungkook Bangtan's proud golden magne fell before him. Not an ordinary faint. Not because of ordinary fatigue. His face was pale. His eyes opened for a moment before closing completely. And Jimin's reaction? Don't ask. Jimin's face froze, not because of the usual panic, but like someone who knew this could happen, like someone who's been holding a weight for too long, like someone harboring guilt. And this is where the question begins. Does Jimin know something that we all do not know? One of the BTS staff, who did not want to be named for security reasons, finally spoke up. His voice trembled when interviewed anonymously. We have warned. We told you that the shooting schedule is too busy, but they kept going. There's pressure. Great pressure coming from above. When asked who meant top, the staff just stared blankly. You know who they are, but no one dared to name them. Pressure? Tight schedule? This is nothing new in K-pop. But what made everything darker was the follow-up information from this source that Jungkook had complained since 2 days earlier. Physical complaints, yes, but also something more emotional. He once said, he can no longer be himself, the staffer said in a low voice. What does that mean? Is Jungkook experiencing an identity crisis? Or does he no longer feel free in his own team? The incident in front of the camera was not the first incident, they said. We've seen the signs. He was more silent. Sit alone more often. Even when Jimin tried to invite chat, he just nodded. Is this a sign of the tenuous relationship between two friends who have been looking so solid? But what was most surprising was the snippet of the conversation captured by the microphone a few seconds before Jungkook fell. Hyung, I don't know how long I'll have to endure. The low voice was almost inaudible. But it's clear enough to make the hair stand on end. Was it a request for help that failed to be heard in time? And after the incident, Jimin did not return to the set. Not a day. Not a week. It disappeared from circulation. Even his social media accounts are silent, as if time is frozen. Then, speculation arose. Did Jimin feel guilty? Does he know anything about Jungkook's fatigue that the army doesn't know about? When HYB finally gave an official statement, they only said Jungkook is in a short recovery period due to physical exhaustion. But why do so many staff seem panicked? Why are so many CCTVs on set that are then disabled? And most perplexing, why is it that the camera that recorded Jungkook's moment of fainting is never shown in the official content? The answer may lie in one thing that the staff said earlier. They want to keep the image. But who's looking after Jungkook? This is not just a story about an idol who fell because he was tired. It's a story about a person who has given everything, time, energy, even his soul, to meet inhuman expectations. This is the story of Jimin, who watched everything from a short distance, but seemed unable to prevent it. And this is a story about us, the audience, who may be too engrossed in enjoying the end result, without ever asking what was sacrificed behind the scenes. Will this be a turning point for BTS? Will Jungkook return as he was? Or is this the beginning of a major change that will reveal more hidden wounds behind the stage? One thing is for sure, after that moment, no one can anymore consider all this to be just work. Because what looks strong can be fragile, and who always smiles can be the deepest cry. The question now is, after knowing all this, will you still be able to watch them the same way again? After Jungkook fell, nothing moved for a few seconds. A moment that feels like forever. But the camera captured something more heartbreaking than an unconscious body. Jimin's expression. His face was ruined. Not just shocked, but like someone who has just witnessed a nightmare that he had been afraid of come true. His hands, which were usually firm on stage, trembled as he tried to grab Jungkook by the shoulders. But he didn't hug her right away. Not immediately screaming for help. It's just stare. Inside. Old. Time seems to stop, said one of the makeup assistants who was not far from them. It wasn't the expression of people who were just surprised. It's like guilt, like a wound that has been gaping for a long time and finally burst. Why didn't Jimin act immediately? Why did he look as if he already knew this was going to happen? And why, since that day, has she not appeared in public at all? A senior crew member from the BTS team who has been with them since 2016 has finally spoken anonymously. Jungkook has long shown signs of extreme fatigue, but he always refused to rest. The reason is always the same. Army is waiting. Is that what fuels his power all this time? Or is that what ultimately destroyed it? The staffer added, "We all know the touring schedule, the filming, and the solo projects he's working on are too much." But he never refused. Even when there are quite heavy internal conflicts between some members, Jungkook still remains professional. But it's professionalism that kills the human side. Internal conflict? Who is meant? Does this have anything to do with Jimin's silence after the incident? One of the technical staff, who was near the lighting area, said he heard a low sentence from Jungkook moments before he fell. He said, "If I go, please don't blame Jimin." What does that mean? Is there anything between them? Is it a secret? Conflict? Or even sacrifice? Those words have hung like dark clouds over BTS since that day. Even the other members look much more gloomy. RM made no public statement. Jin, who is usually active in the ARMY community, only uploads black and white photos without captions. Suga postponed his mixtape schedule. And Taeil, yes, even Team deleted a story that had featured a heart emoji that was split in two. What exactly is going on behind the HYB wall? In an official press release, HYB stated that Jungkook only experienced mild fatigue and is undergoing recovery. But if that's all, why is all BTS content delayed? Why isn't a single member showing up even online? And even stranger, all the crew present at the incident were required to sign a no-speak document, NDA, within 24 hours of the incident. We were asked to shut up. "You can't even tell your family," said an audio crew member who leaked the information to South Korea's independent media. What is HYB hiding? Is there something bigger behind Jungkook's fainting? 2 days before the incident, Jimin had uploaded a short video on Weverse. Its content is simple. He sits alone in the rehearsal room against the backdrop of an instrumental piano song. But what confused the ARMY was the caption, "Sorry if I was too quiet. There's something I can't talk about yet." At that time, no one understood his point. But now, that sentence feels like a warning, like a barely audible alarm. And if there really is something heavy on Jimin's shoulders, is it directly related to Jungkook's condition? Does Jimin feel guilty for not being able to take care of his best friend? Or was he involved in a decision that put Jungkook under heavy pressure? One of the most shocking documents to emerge was a draft of a letter allegedly written by Jungkook, found near the rehearsal room rest area. The letter was unsigned, addressed to no one, and had never been made public. But its contents hit straight to the heart of whoever reads it. "I know I won't be able to go on like this. I know many wish I was smiling, but I can't pretend to continue. If one day I quit, please don't blame anyone. It's not because of them, but because I'm tired of being someone I'm not. The last sentence of the letter is, Jimin, you know what I mean. What does Jungkook mean? Why did he write a letter like this? And why is only Jimin mentioned? Amid all the silence of BTS members, only one is seen online briefly, taeil. But what he did made everything even more confusing. She posted a sentence on her Instagram story that was deleted in 3 minutes. You promised me it would be too hard. No name. There is no context. But his timing and his words were very direct. Is it a form of frustration at feeling abandoned? Or is it code that V actually knows Jungkook's situation, but is left with no room to help? Aft. When the video of Jungkook's fainting moment circulated on social media, even if it was only for a few seconds, the world's reaction came like a tsunami wave. Twitter collapsed in an instant. The hashtags #ProtectJungkook, #WhereIsJimin, and #WhatHappenedTo JK are trending in more than 48 countries. Fans burst into tears in their own live broadcasts, spreading speculation while hoping for dismay. Even the normally calm international fans began to ask HYB harsh questions. Did you wait until someone really died to tell the truth? Wrote an angry Korean fan on an online forum, and when all eyes are on the agency, the only hope left is one thing: honesty. But the more pressure that came, the quieter HYB answered. The most painful thing was not only the moment of Jungkook's fall, but also how the ARMY community began to split. Most called for Jungkook and Jimin's full protection and support. But not a few accused Jimin of hiding something, even blaming him for Jungkook's psychological pressure. He's the closest to Jungkook. If he knows Jungkook isn't okay, why shut up? Wrote an angry international fan, but other fans were quick to defend. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Jim was probably the most hurt. You think he didn't feel devastated when he saw Jungkook fall? The comment war continues to rage. Some official fanbase communities even restrict comments and delete hundreds of posts in a short time. All that remains is one feeling that envelopes all: uncertainty. 3 days after the incident, CCTV footage emerged from HYB's rehearsal room that was never released. This video is unofficial. Somehow, someone from inside leaked it to a closed forum, and in a matter of minutes, it went viral all over the world. In the video, Jimin and Jungkook are seen training together late at night. The music plays quietly. Their movements aren't as energetic as they used to be. And most strikingly, Jungkook's face looked empty. A few seconds before falling, Jungkook looked at Jimin. Not with a smile, not with a tired expression, but with such a sharp highlight, as if to convey something very important, but it's restrained. Then he spoke softly, inaudible, but the movement of his lips could be read. You know this is the end. Then he fell. After the video leaked, one big question arose. Who filmed the moment? Who is brave enough to leak a video from a closed area? And even more disturbing, if the video is original, why didn't HYB act immediately? Why are they trying to hide it? Are they afraid of what happens if the truth becomes known to the public? Many began to blame the Korean entertainment industry's work system that is too demanding, without empathy space. Idols are forced to look perfect, even when they are fragile. A psychologist who freelances for a well-known Korean idol agency revealed in an anonymous interview that he was once recruited by HYB for private counseling of BTS members during the military transition. There is tremendous pressure to maintain the image. The members, especially Jungkook, showed symptoms of severe mental exhaustion. But they remain silent for fear of being considered weak. Even when they cry in therapy sessions, they ask that no records be kept. The doctor stated that in his last session, Jungkook only said one sentence that continues to haunt him until now. I'm afraid if I'm honest, everything will be ruined. Is this the reason why HYB silences professionals? Is the world too cruel for a Jungkook who just wants to be human? 6 days after the incident, a mysterious video appeared on social media. Jimin's official Weverse account uploaded an 11-second video. No words. Only Jimin sat in a dark room, with a single light shining on his face. He stared at the camera and crying, but no sound. No music. No